Thank you, Meg. So good to see you. And hi, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to PowerToFly's Diversity Reboot Summit, focusing on the future of work. I'm Lauren Hagerty, Senior Director of Marketing and Community here at PowerToFly. And as many of you probably know, we started in 2014 as a way to fight for gender parity in the workplace and beyond. A few years ago, we broadened our mission to help upskill and elevate underrepresented talent across the globe, helping to create equitable opportunities for the workforce and our world. This broadening of our audience helped us to extend over 1,000 employment offers to PowerToFly community members, while putting over $10 billion back in the hands of underrepresented professionals by means of salaries. Not to mention how, in tandem, we supported our incredibly diverse array of clients, from the financial sector to tech giants, government agencies, even some athletic associations, find extremely talented, diverse professionals to complete their teams. You may not have noticed a difference visually as we expanded that reach, or through the services and events we provided, but over the last few months, we've been working tirelessly to ensure that this very moment marks a rebirth of PowerToFly the brand, complete with a new website, new logo, and a suite of new products, furthering our mission and vision to an even greater scale. I'm honored to formally announce PowerToFly's DEIB Business Suite, launching today. This new platform is specially designed for DEIB and HR talent professionals who want to transform their workplaces into more equitable and inclusive environments, while taking their personal and professional development to the next level through on-demand specialized DEIB courses with PowerUp and in-depth recruitment funnel data and insights through PowerPro. In just a few seconds, I'm going to introduce you to PowerToFly's President and CRO, Amy Kim, who will tell you a bit more about the value this new tool will bring to the workplace and the role it plays in making PowerToFly a true 360-degree DEIB solution. Then we will hear from our VP of Product, Amber Brown, to provide a special product demo of this new suite. We'll then wrap up by bringing Amy and Amber together for a live interactive Q&A session where we want to hear from you. So start thinking of your questions and add them directly to the chat. Now, it's my pleasure to formally introduce you to PowerToFly's President and CRO, Amy Kim.
Thanks, Lauren. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you around the world that's joining us at our Diversity Reboot Summit. Delighted to be here to share with you our announcement around our PowerToFly DEIB Business Suite that we're launching today, and talk a little bit about our journey at PowerToFly to help in creating more equity around the world, especially in the workforces, and what this means to you all going forward. So with that, I'd like to start off with a short presentation and a little bit about PowerToFly. PowerToFly's mission is to fast-track economic equity by upskilling and connecting underrepresented talent in roles in highly visible sectors to pursue great careers for our talent. We have a network of over 200 million professionals that are underrepresented around the globe that we connect with to create communities and for connections and for learning and development. On our platform, we have over 800,000 underrepresented talent that are actively engaged in learning and development and connections. And we have over 2 million users that visit our website on an annual basis. Right. PowerToFly as a company is quite unique as well, and we really believe in the mantra of equity and diversity. As you can see, we have a wide range of age groups that are employees of PowerToFly, as well as represented globally as well. But what's really unique about PowerToFly, and in the 25 years that I've been in the workforce, that's quite unique, is our gender demographics. We are a women founded company, and the mantra has always been to support women in the workforce, and have successfully built an organization that is significantly represented by women in a variety of stages, early entry all the way up to our senior CXO levels as well. We also foster a variety of folks that join us in the workplace of various family statuses. And these might be numbers that most organizations do not track, but we value the intersectionality of our employees and help track these numbers so that we can support the various demographics of our employee base as well. So we all are excited about DEIB, and a lot of you come as underrepresented talent within organizations, but why is DEIB important? Why does it matter? Well, let's just look at some of the stats. 80% of talent in the US want to work for an organization that values diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. If we were to have more efforts around financial inclusion, that will broaden service-oriented jobs for Black Americans, there will be over $2 billion of revenue created from that effort. If we were able to narrow the gender gap, by 2025, over $2 trillion of economic wealth is created in the world. And lastly, 56% of employees increase their job performance by feeling belonging within your organization. These are some amazing numbers that we just need to kind of reflect on. When we think about DEIB, it's not just about having diversity for the sake of having diversity. It's really about making business impact by being able to foster the talent of those underrepresented individuals for them to be in a position to really flourish in their careers and make impact. So how does PowerToFly serve our various intersectional audiences? Well, here are some of the demographics and identities in the world today, and there's dozens more that all of us relate to. I myself relate to a multitude of identities with this demographic chart. And so what we try to do is create and foster communities, learning opportunities, as well as professional career opportunities for those that are identified in a variety of these intersectional demographic groups. So let's talk a little bit about PowerToFly. PowerToFly is a two-sided marketplace. And what do we mean by that? Well, the two-sided marketplace represents our partner ecosystem, which could be potential employers, to our wonderful talent that's a part of our community. And so we would use the term two-sided marketplace, and many folks that come to our summits or virtual job fairs or attend our chat and learns or are recruited by PowerToFly don't quite understand what role we play. And so hopefully this is an opportunity for you all to learn how do we work with the various constituents that help with furthering the DEIB efforts around the world. Well, our partners are those that are really invested in DEIB, have various programs that they've built out, and want to partner with PowerToFly to attract the right type of talented, underrepresented individuals to come work in their environments. We then work with our talent community, and most of you hopefully are a part of our PowerToFly talent community that come to our platform actively to learn more about DEIB, but also around professional development, to be able to engage and interact with our partners, as well as hopefully interested in furthering your career and find new job opportunities. So these are the various ways that we engage. So let's talk a little bit about the talent journey. The talent journey is quite exciting from our perspective. We put in a tremendous amount of effort to help with our talents to build awareness around DEIB and intersectional individuals finding belonging, but also represent a lot of our partners that are employers to recruit and be promoted to find identities that will help to further their DEIB efforts. And so we help with the recruitment and hiring of those individuals into those partner organizations. And we'll talk more about that through PowerPro. But we also help talents to engage with potential employers in a way that they've never had the opportunity to do so. It could be in opportunities to learn more about those companies at these summits, or it could be at a dedicated event that we host on behalf of an employer, potential employer, or it could be in an intimate session like a chat and learn or other types of webinars. But also on the PowerToFly job fairs, you're able to learn more about our clients as well. And obviously there's ways to grow in your career and learn about DEIB, but also professional skill development in our platform as well. Here's the list of various partners that are a part of our ecosystem. And if we learn, and we'll be talking more about our partners and their impact as well. So how does PowerToFly help? Well, with the exciting launch of PowerToFly Business Suite, we're able to share with you our ability to really help our partners attract better talent like yourselves. So PowerToFly's PowerPro product that we'll be demoing in shortly helps you to identify the right types of talent based on skill, demographics, and build awareness and relationships with that audience. We also help you to hire at PowerToFly great talent that are underrepresented, that are needing and filling the needs of specific organizations. PowerUp is a product that we're building that's focused on learning and development and career around careers in DEIB, but also helping organizations understand and implement great DEIB best practices. And PowerUp is a learning tool that enables organizations to do that, essentially to help organizations retain and grow their talent. So let's talk a little bit about our talent and what they have to say. There's a little bit of a lag in the slides, so bear with us, folks. But I'm going to talk about two people specifically, Sheena, and I'm hoping that Sheena is here on the summit, attending the summit today. But Sheena was a PowerToFly, what we call a flyer, attending a variety of our summits and virtual job fairs, and she was able to find an opportunity for her job. And this was something that she posted for us, as she was delighted to find her new job and a new career path, and just shared her appreciation. And we just delight in testimonials like this. We are here to support our talent ecosystem that are underrepresented, that are looking to advance in their careers and to find new opportunities where they feel belonging, they feel safe, they feel like they are contributing and making impact. And so we just wanted to celebrate Sheena. We also want to celebrate Ali. An attendee from Ali and Take Action. We hosted a courageous conversation, which is one of our DEIB internal events that we have to help folks that are in organizations feel more connected as a part of the organization. So we facilitate workshops, and this was one of the attendees' feedbacks that we got. The next is our partners and what they have to say about PowerToFly. And I just wanted to share Tessa's testimonial. We had partnered with Chubbies to help them to implement their diversity goals, which was to really reflect the United States population as a part of their demographic goals for their employee base. And after the event, Tessa had stated that for a company focused on hitting metrics, PowerToFly was able to land the powerful notion that it's not about quotas, but goals. I can confidently say that our leadership team is walking away with a better understanding that our inclusive hiring is all about how we reach diverse applicants, not when. And so, her understanding of how is really critical. And we were able to work with them to understand how to pivot their metrics to focus on goals and align with how their talent and underrepresented talent are looking to foster relationships with their potential future employers. So I hope this gives you a little bit of a backdrop of who PowerToFly is and what we're focused on in our mission. And I'd like to now transition over and introduce you to Amber Kerbos, who is our VP of Product Management, to demo to you our exciting new services that we offer.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Amy, for the warm introduction and for setting the stage before everyone today around who we are at PowerToFly and what we do and the mission that we all rally behind. So my name is Amber, as Amy Kim mentioned, and I'm going to be going through a product demo today, but I wanted to start off with kind of anchoring us all in the community experience. At PowerToFly for over 10 years, we've built a community of various demographics, and we really take pride in that mission to help connect underrepresented talent with high caliber opportunities. And so each time that you join a summit like you have today, thank you for dedicating your time to this, or the fact that you join other events on our platform, you apply to different job opportunities, you network with each other. Each time that one of those actions happens, we fulfill our mission. And so it's an incredible time in PowerToFly history to be part of an ever growing and ever evolving product that helps us fulfill that mission in a variety of ways. So what you're going to see here on my screen is the MBA's company profile. So the MBA comes to PowerToFly and says, hey, we want to be able to create a diverse candidate slate and promote diversity within our company. How can you help us reach the diverse audiences that you've been curating and connecting with and building those relationships for over the past 10 years? And so what we do is we help the NBA communicate their brand in an authentic voice and authentic message through their company profile. Now, the company profile is rich with information, not just in the form of written text, but also information and content from video form from existing employees from diverse demographic groups who know what it's like to land an opportunity at the NBA and thrive in that culture. And so studies show, right, that those of us who are applying to job opportunities resonate more, and we're more likely to trust the authenticity and the testimonies of current employees, right? Employees are influencers. And so we want to be able to, as diverse talent, hear from the folks who are currently at the organization, so that way we can get a better sense of how we might be feel included and belong at the organization. So on this company page, not only do I have the opportunity to hear more tips about the topics that we just discussed, but also the NBA has a partnership with us that is ever growing and ever evolving. So they work with us on other events and micro content throughout the course of the year that you can tap into as members of the PowerToFly community. These are free resources for you all to be able to upskill and build connections, so that way you have a leg up when it's time to apply for an opportunity that is of interest to you. So let's take this chat and learn as an example, led by Shannon Rhodes, the Director of Connected Devices. You can hear directly from Shannon around how you can land your dream job in any industry, but obviously more specifically the sports industry for the NBA. So what we're doing here is we're breaking down those walls and those barriers that used to exist, where you could really only get that one-on-one FaceTime and connection once after you've applied, and if you've hopefully made it to an interview. We're breaking down that stigma, and we're bringing this transparency and access to the forefront for our community members. Another example here is to meet one-on-one with the specific company that is hiring for key roles in product and engineering. So maybe you're a community member who is in engineering, and maybe you're transitioning out of one of the big tech giants, and you're one of our underrepresented talents. And now you're open up to other possibilities of companies that are looking for tech talent in different industries and different verticals, such as the MBA. So we've been able to broaden your horizons to other opportunities available to you. So if you're with us today, I highly encourage you to create an account with us. It's free to join, and the resources are just ever growing, ever evolving, and incredibly valuable and impactful on your career, whether you're actively looking for an opportunity or just looking to network and build community. So that's a little bit about our community, and we're really excited about that. But I want to pop into our platform and talk a little bit about the products in the PowerToFly Business Suite that we've been really focused on refining and evolving to help meet our demands for our customers, to find the underrepresented talent, and really make this process of finding diverse talent as frictionless as possible. And so the premise of PowerPro, which is one of our core products within the PowerToFly Business Suite, the premise of PowerPro is to elevate and bring underrepresented talent to the forefront. Now, if you don't know a little bit about my background, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect, but I come from the applicant tracking system industry, and I know what it's like to get lost. The data gets lost in the ATSs, and it's really a great tool for post-applicant processing. But ahead of that, you don't really have any insight and visibility into how talent, a diverse talent, is interacting with your brand. Are you even reaching enough of a diverse audience to promote a diverse talent slate? Oftentimes folks get lost in the ATS, and you don't even hear back as an applicant until 6 months to a year later. And so the premise of PowerPro is to kind of demystify that process and make it easier to understand your overall top of funnel, your reach of the diverse talent, and track them all the way through conversion, so that you're making sure that you're plugging the leaky bucket along the way, right? And so we do that with our embedded analytics dashboard that's updated in near real time, that lets you know how are you performing in your recruitment funnel, right? Now, there are three main channels that our customers can use to build connections and to access diverse talent. One is through the jobs that we pull from your applicant tracking system. And as folks express interest in your opportunities, they will become visible here as an applicant list. Okay. Now, as you host different events, like we showed with the NBA, whether they're chat and learns, whether you participate in particular summits or do targeted events for a very specific group of talent that you're looking for, you can access your event attendee and registration list here and view the profiles of folks who might be interested in working at your organization. And you can reach out to them directly. You can shortlist them and put them in an email cadence to start building those connections for ease of processing the information in post-event workflows. So again, we're making it very easy to connect with a diverse talent who's really investing the time in getting to know your brand. Likely, it indicates that they have an intent, right, to want to explore new opportunities. And so we can start that matchmaking process. Okay. The third avenue that we have that helps broker this connection is through our company profile. We saw that company profile on the NBA's page. From an employer standpoint, that company profile can include various types of micro content, blog posts, different video snippets from events that you might have participated with us on. And also we can highlight your demographic information if that's something that you'd like to be more transparent about to your audience. And the idea here is that you have the opportunity to show the community members that you're striving for progress, not perfection. So maybe I'm a community member and I'm actually looking to see if companies are investing in promoting diversity, not just at the staff or individual contributor level, but to their leadership and the C-level. And if I see this information on the company page that you have, I don't know, 50% of the folks in the C-suite are female, I might be very inclined to want to work with a company that's trying to put their best foot forward. And so that's the premise of the company page here. All the information is self-service and editable at any time from the employer standpoint. Right. So as my colleagues mentioned earlier, we're 360 focused. And so what I talked a lot about at this time in PowerPro is that attraction stage, right? Filling that top of funnel, and then the in the engagement stage. So how do you reach out to the folks that are of interest to you? But there's also this second half of the loop, right, that we have to close. And that's all about retention and upskilling. And so the extension of PowerPro, which is called PowerUp, you see what we did there, all in the effort and the name of upskilling. We introduce a module that allows you to upskill everyone in the subject of DEIB. DEIB is not something that is like an afterthought. It's not something that you're kind of just born with knowing all of the details about. It's really a skill. It's a skill you have to learn, you have to practice it, and there's various levels of maturity. As you grow in your knowledge and your expertise of DEIB, you become, I would say you'd become more skilled in the subject. And so the whole premise of PowerUp is the ability to train and upskill anyone in the context of DEIB. So whether you're an employee resource group member and you're looking to get a credential in DEIB programming, you can have access to our membership on the platform. Whether you're a hiring manager and you really just want to understand, like, how do I put my best foot forward with inclusive interviewing? Being that with PowerPro, my company is going to start sending me more diverse talent. How do I kind of create a safe space? How do I check my biases at the door and really create an environment that helps those that I'm interviewing feel more included, right, and welcomed? Or maybe you're an executive and you just want to understand like all of the fundamentals so you have the right language, right, as you're connecting with your current employees and you're being mindful of all of the different groups who are, helping your company be successful. And so our course catalog has rich information and courses that you can self-enroll in. All of this information is in both video and written form. And so you can click into the modules to get the transcript, take the courses in small bite-sized chunks. We know that you're all busy, and so we wanted to make this easy to digest. Diversity and inclusion can be a pretty heavy topic. And so we want to be able to focus on the quality of the content, but also make it consumable and palatable for you all. Now, as you conclude a particular course, there are learning checks throughout the program and knowledge checks, and quizzes. And at the end of a given module, you'll be able to download your certification from the panel here and share it out on your network so that you can brag about how you're upskilling as a professional with DEIB as a skill set. So any managers who might have enrolled their teams in this membership platform can track the activity and the statistics of their teams to ensure that they're completing the courses, getting the credential, and staying on track. Now, courses are one aspect, a core aspect, but one aspect of the PowerUp platform. Something that we're really excited about is our news feed. So this syndicated news feed is a way that we can kind of quiet the noise and bring to the forefront what is the most important headlines to be aware of, again, as an ERG member, as a hiring manager, as a TA manager who's on the front lines of recruiting and talking to talent every day. We want to highlight, what are the things that you need to be aware of and mindful of that are going on in the world today from a DEIB and TA perspective. And so we bring all of those highlights here to your newsfeed. Again, one-stop shop for all things DEIB. All right. And as we wrap up here, I want to highlight our resources and tools. So something that I think is very meaningful and unique about the PowerUp platform is that we don't just credential and certify people in DEIB. We also give you the tools that you're going to need to be successful in your day-to-day job. So rather than kind of training you and then sending you on your way, what we do is we say, hey, we'll train you, we'll certify you, and then we'll give you the tools that you can take with you in your day-to-day job to actually apply everything that you've learned. And these tools include everything from actual programming ideas and templates, ERG starter kits, interview prep checklists, and of course you can feel free to modify and add to it as you take it away, but we want to give you the foundations of everything that you need to get started. And so I'm really excited about all of the work that we're doing to further our mission at PowerToFly in connecting underrepresented talent to high caliber opportunities, but also to upskill all professionals in the subject matter of DEIB. We continue to evolve our product, right, to help accelerate that mission and fulfill it each and every day. And so I hope that you see all of the benefit that we have for both community members and employers. And at this time, I'm going to conclude the demo and turn it back over to my colleagues, Amy, Lauren, and Megan to bring us home and close us out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amber. I am following along in the chat and so many awesome comments, and I highly encourage everyone to keep asking questions. I ask myself, which courses are you interested in taking or bringing to your organization? We want to hear what you think of the product and why your organization should invest in PowerUp or PowerPro. But let's dive into my favorite part of our summit sessions, and that is some questions. So let's start with this first one for Amy. Can you tell us a little more about the inspiration for creating this platform?
Yes, thanks, Lauren. So PowerToFly has been around for over 8 years now. And in the last few years, there's been a huge momentum globally around DEIB. But what we also gathered was that although there was an increase in interest, the realization of the impact of DEIB was just not being recognized. And so what we found was that organizations continue to struggle to make meaningful impact on underrepresented talent in their hiring and retention metrics to create more of an inclusive and equitable culture. And this phenomenon, we analyzed and realized that there was a crucial element missing here, and that was really to understand the data and streamlining the entire talent acquisition process. And so that was really the genesis of creating PowerToFly's DEIB Business Suite.
I love that. It's so important. And we're definitely seeing that in these comments and the questions that are coming in from our lovely attendees. And I want to pivot to one of those questions from Jennifer. And Jennifer is asking, well, I guess she starts by saying she's really interested in the last slide. I believe that's the last slide you shared, Amy. But I'm going to pivot this one to Amber. She wants to know, can y'all talk a little more about why or how you came to the conclusion that it's hard to hire diverse teams?
Yeah, no, it's a great comment, and a thought to kind of get us all going and trying to uncover, like, why is this a problem that needs to be addressed? From a product standpoint, I'm sure I'll let Amy chime in, but from a product standpoint, I'm out here talking to customers each and every day, trying to understand, like, what are their pain points? Why are you finding it difficult to hire diverse talent? And I think it depends on the customer size, and the customer industry. So for example, I was on the phone with a customer who serves like a very specific like microbiologist industry. And they said, it's hard to find any talent that's in this niche sector that we're in. But we have a mission to promote diversity for XYZ reason. So then when I go to this niche talent pool, and then I even want to look further for diverse talent, that leaves me with kind of like slim pickings if I only look at who's directly applying to jobs, because it's potentially the diverse talent doesn't know that there's opportunities for them at this particular company. Now, this wasn't a big tech giant; it was a smaller company, in biology, and so that is kind of some of their unique challenges that they were having. And so they're saying, how can you help us make sure that no stone goes unturned? That we've done our best effort to get our brand out there to diverse talent, so that way we can kind of we know that by the time we're ready to make a hiring decision, that we've done our best to put diversity in that pipeline. And so I would say, how do I know? The customers tell us, they share their challenges with us, and we understand that it takes a level of that brokering that we do at PowerToFly to kind of make ends meet. And that's a little bit of my perspective and the angle coming from a product side. Amy, anything to add? Sorry. Yeah.
No, I think you nailed it. I think from a business perspective, most companies, well, we hope, set DEIB goals at the beginning of the year, and the organization measures the impact. And what we've heard and seen over and over again is the overall numbers don't actually increase. What happens is there's a shift of the underrepresented demographics within the organization. And so that's been one of the challenges that organizations are trying to correct, is we want the overall number to increase, but what we're seeing in shift based on sort of interest or priorities for that season. And so going back to what Amber alluded to, the key is, as you all know, as a part of this community, is sometimes we're not present or vocal as an underrepresented community in society, but PowerToFly is a very targeted niche platform that attracts those underrepresented talent. And one of the things that we counsel our partners that are employing or looking to employ underrepresented talent is, you have to be very targeted, and your message has to be very sort of relatable. And those are the things that we believe needs to happen in the traditional hiring practices for better inclusive hiring.
Absolutely. And that brings up another great question from Carissa in the chat. Carissa says, in Dr. Stephanie Johnson's book, Inclusify, it talks about stripping resumes of identifying criteria and converting it into data. This actually increased diverse applicants during the interview process. She's wondering if anyone is doing this, or if something similar on a hiring level, or if there are any tools that do this. She definitely could see AI doing something like this. Yeah. Amber, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And actually, I have experience working with this sort of initiative to obfuscate data from that might lead to bias. So any personal identifiable information, removing it during key decision-making points in the process. Look, recruitment is dynamic. It's not linear. We can obfuscate certain data like your name during the entire process, because eventually someone has to reach out to you. They've got to email you. They've got to, jump on an interview with you and know how to address you. But there is merit, to Carissa's point, in obfuscating some of that data when you're making a first decision on a profile to shortlist. Do you really need to know the person's name? Do you really need to understand XYZ data about them? And so we are looking at those instances in our roadmap and seeing, does it make sense to add this sort of capability to PowerToFly? As I mentioned, we're growing and evolving our products. And so it's very likely that you could see something like that in our platform in the future. So.
And I guess it's probably important to note too, how for platforms like us, how important that data actually is, right? For clients who do want to find diverse candidates, and why creating profiles on PowerToFly and using our self-identity tool is important. So then we can make sure that we are providing opportunities for all of our underrepresented groups. So we are in an interesting time and interesting point of technology, right? Where there's so much to do and so much, left to discover that, is it AI or is it more of a human touch we have to put on this? So, lots of interesting things. Amber, you have something to say on that? Okay.
Actually, can I just comment on that? Because I think
Yeah.
you bring up a really good point around, yes, there's AI and there's ways to scale this. And one of the things that we're focused on is really more scaled targeting. But I would really encourage all of you that's on this summit broadcast, but also in our community, that first party data is the most accurate data. And it's so refreshing and invigorating to be a part of an organization that promotes diversity and supports underrepresented talent. And so for you to fill out your information, that is obviously your personal choice, but also use that data and identity attributes about yourself for your benefit. Many of you are coming to PowerToFly for a career opportunity or for a career transition or to upskill. Well, the reality is there are people that are looking for people like you. And unless you provide that information, it's extremely hard for them to find you. So I think, this is an opportunity to also use your data to power yourself, right?
Very well said, Amy. Thank you. And I want to talk a little bit more about, well, I guess we'll kind of go back a little bit and talk about how some companies are cutting DEIB programs. And I'm sure everyone in the chat has seen a news headline or read a post about a company that has either let go of their DEIB team or resources have been allocated elsewhere. What role can this new DEIB suite play in a company's DEIB strategy?
Sure. Should I answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Amy.
So yes, and it's very unfortunate, but especially in the tech sector, we're going through quite a bit of layoffs in the market, as you all are aware of. And I think in times like this, rest assured, no company is not hiring. Unfortunately, there are layoffs, but they are quietly hiring. No company is going to say that they will stop their DEIB efforts, but they are prioritizing. And so it's somewhat timely for PowerToFly to be launching PowerPro and PowerUp, because both products are really there to accelerate and scale DEIB within organizations. So for example, for PowerPro, we're looking to help organizations faster identify and faster convert talent to make a hire. And in organizations where resources have become scarce now, and so, obviously the joys of doing more with less, right? That's a joke, by the way, is not there. But what organizations are looking to do is work smarter. And so tools like ours will help them to continue on with their DEIB hiring, but be more effective in doing so. And if you look at a service or product service like PowerUp, which is really around overall education and awareness of DEIB within your organization, because if there isn't an appreciation for intersectional identities and talent within your organization, the notion of wanting to stay at an organization that doesn't really appreciate those identities just doesn't exist. And that's where your retention rates fall short. And so instead of having custom built training sessions and workshops, this is a template of DEIB best practices that we're giving organizations so that they can really go out and start to implement and execute without having to create from scratch. So again, helping to get DEIB implemented and executed very quickly using our services.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that last answer, Amy, but someone in the chat is also asking, well, they say congratulations on the launch of the new product. Thank you. Can you share some insights on what sets it apart from other DEIB solutions in the market?
So if you look at, good question, and I apologize, Amber, I'll take it and maybe you can add on. I think if you look at the current DEIB services that are offered, I would say services because a lot of the DEIB efforts have been around education and consulting and being in person and doing workshops to help really bring up the awareness level. I don't think there's a tool like ours out in the market today, by the way. And what we mean by that is we're very specific about what problem we're solving. So there's two problems that we're addressing. One is around top of the funnel, being able to help better target the underrepresented identities with the specific skill sets that organizations are looking for. And really, the unique difference, because there are vendors out there that say they have diversity attributes, but it's really the implementation of that hiring. So our services, and these are professional services that we offer around helping to recruit in our direct sourcing business, but also around just conversations with the hiring organization around, have you conducted inclusive hiring training for your hiring managers? In many cases, they have not. They're bringing the top of the funnel talent of underrepresented identities, but the recruiting process is very standard to any candidate that they're looking to hire. And so we specialize in helping with the end-to-end adoption and entry of DEIB from talent acquisition all the way to talent retention.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. And there's white space in being able to consolidate these problems and solve them in one platform. Some platforms focus mostly on the sourcing side. As Amy mentioned, other folks or companies are not necessarily platforms, they're just providing services, and others are focused on talent acquisition. And so at PowerToFly, we're bringing together and kind of consolidating and becoming that one-stop shop for everything that you need to cast that wider net at your top of funnel and convert diverse talent from various different demographics, also a differentiator for us, into your active jobs and pipelines. And so I think that's what sets us apart, and very well said by Amy, that I don't think there's a solution on the market that does this well.
Love that. Makes today so exciting. I'm going to pivot back to you again, Amber, and ask, what hiring benefits can people get from this new platform?
Yeah, so the name of the game is hires. That's really how we show value both to community members when they get hired and they're excited about that new opportunity, their start date at their destination employer. And then for our customers who are working to fill roles, even as Amy mentioned earlier, we're hearing of quiet hiring, right? Most companies are actually still hiring, but they're being more targeted and specific. And so we need to be able to help them not only build those connections, the connections are great, but we need to help them fill key roles so that their businesses can continue to thrive and be successful. And so what we do is we help you identify a top of funnel of diverse talent. I met with the CHRO as we were gearing up for this launch and asked some questions. And the feedback that she gave is, I always wonder if we missed an opportunity to get a diverse talent in the pipeline. And I don't have the answer to that ever. And so, well, here's your answer. We have a rich pipeline of diverse talent that you can feel confident knowing that you've reached out to, you've engaged with, and that you've been able to convert into your pipeline. And so that question now doesn't go unanswered. So we're able to answer that question. We're able to help highlight what are the successful recruitment branding opportunities that are helping resonate and convert the most diverse talent. So sometimes, you're doing these branding efforts, you're posting here, you're paying for ad space there, but you don't actually know what is actually helping convert the diverse talent. And so with our analytics, you're able to answer those questions. And then with PowerPro, from a hiring standpoint, it's also about how do you show up to these interviews and create a safe space for the talent from different groups and different walks of life that you will be speaking with. How do you make sure that every hiring manager has gone through this inclusive interview training and programming? And that also helps to convert talent. So that way you're both on the same page as you're connecting and wrapping up those interviews, that you feel that you represented your company well and that you've created a safe space for talent. So those are some of the key highlights Amy, if anything that you would like to add, feel free.
Oh, I think you nailed it, Amber.
Well, I'm going to give you a follow-up, Amy. And I'm sure many people out there are thinking the same thing. There seems to be a lot of changes for partners and clients of PowerToFly. And yes, there are some changes, but I think at the core of what we do, this is still our mission. We're here to elevate and connect talent with companies committed to creating diverse and inclusive workforces. But as a talent looking to find opportunities, what changes do they see? I love the comment from someone who says it's really cool to see what's happening on the back end and like a little peek behind the curtain, which this is. But what changes can talent expect from this launch?
All right. So good question. So first of all, our mission doesn't change, right? We're really focused on helping financial equity and providing upskilling opportunities so that you all can get a better job opportunity. And that is really what makes and excites all of us that are on this panel today. From a visual perspective, the first thing that you'll see and change is the website. If you go to powerfly.com, the design has changed. It's still us, so don't run away. And we will be furthering our development on the website to each of the sub pages as well. We will continue to host summits and virtual job fairs, and there will be job postings and more partners or potential employers that you can engage with and interact with. So we'll continue to do those efforts. Our big focus is really to make it easier for you. So the first thing, for those that obviously have registered for this event, so are here, I would ask that you go back to the platform and fill out more of your information so that we can be more targeted in presenting the right types of opportunities for you, but also helping you navigate further and get filtered into that top of the funnel or middle of the funnel for your potential new job opportunity. But it's really important for you to be interacting with us on our platform, but making that experience seamless so that you can do it through your phones, your computers, or wherever you are. And so those are the things that we're going to continue to focus on for our talent from a technical perspective, but also continue to foster community. More to come on that in another month. So stay tuned, but we will be doing a lot of announcements this year around better supporting our talent community, as well as obviously our partner community as well.
I'm loving mine and Amber's simultaneous head bobs. We couldn't agree more. There's so much exciting opportunities for our talent community to come. I'm really jazzed about that as someone who's super passionate about community. But I do want to ask another question of you, Amber, and I'm watching the clock here. So people are really jazzed about PowerUp. Saw some really awesome comments in the chat about how their organizations could use these courses and this training. What are some of the courses that we have right now, and how often will new courses and resources be available?
Yes, very quickly, because I know we're short with time. Courses are going to be added monthly to the catalog, not only courses, but quick takes. So bite-sized video chunks of information, resources, assets, and news feeds will be added collectively on a monthly basis in a batch. We have to start some courses to name our inclusive interviewing, crisis communication. I think we can all get skilled in learning that. Unfortunately, we have to have the basics and understanding around that. So that's a very popular course. Measuring DEIB for the companies that really are focused on, taking DEIB and converting it into numbers so we can make sense and track it. DEIB programming and fundamentals. So those are some of the courses we'll have to start.
I love it. And I am your fearless leader for the crisis communications course. So selfishly excited about that one. One more quick question. I believe this is going to be for you, Amber, in the chat. The person says the new platform looks promising. How did the idea for the DEI platform come about, and what inspired its development? Should probably a tandem, you and Amy.
Yeah, very quickly, on our side, we had the foundations and the makings of the platform already from PowerToFly from 10 years ago. And we really just wanted to be able to upskill and ask the question of how do we help our customers become more successful, reach their goals more quickly? How do we create a better frictionless experience for our community? So it was really all about evolving and transforming to further our mission in a more effective way. And that was the inspiration around the launch from my perspective. So.
Love it. And I want to get one quick question in for both of you before we go, a little more fluffy, but what are you both most excited about with this launch? Or like what has inspired you just to, put this out into the world? And what are you most excited about? Amy, I'll start with you.
I think for me, it's just broader adoption. The fact that there's a company out there that is fixated on DEIB and really fostering a more development of underrepresented talent within organizations. And because it's a software tool that they can use, I would love to see more adoption.
Yes. And for me, I'm just excited to continue building products that changes the people's lives. That's my personal charter, what I focus on as a leader in product. And so I'm excited to continue filling that mission.
Well, thank you so much, Amy and Amber. And thank you to all of you out there for listening to our exciting announcement this morning. We are so jazzed to be launching an incredible new product at PowerToFly. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Meg. And thank you all again. We'll see you soon.